Discuss this, I'm joined by Suzan Atuhura from AGHA Uganda. She is monitoring a monitoring officer at AGHA Uganda, and she is going to be discussing with us the relevance of the International AIDS Day. Welcome, Suzan.
Good evening, our viewers.
Well, Suzan, we have an International AIDS Day, and we all want to know more about how to fight this disease. What are some of those groups of people that you can point out that are most at risk of getting infected with the HIV virus, since we are trying to make it a zero new infections year?
Sex workers, fisher folks, boda-boda riders.
Why boda-boda riders?
Their life, usually they work for longer hours and they stand a risk of being easily tempted to engage into sexual activities in the night, given that they work they work for long hours. So as long as at the end of that day they are also considered to be most at risk populations. Then we have the men having sex with men, the long distance truck drivers, because they also leave their homes, they take very long, so many days away from their homes. So at the end of the day, they also stand a risk of acquiring the HIV.
You must be in the know that there are some activities which are being done already, even before the AIDS Day, which is tomorrow. What are some of those activities that you as AGHA are doing to make sure that these most at risk groups are catered for?
You have to understand that they are highly marginalized and discriminated against. They lack the confidence to stand out and approach a health worker in case they have a problem, because the moment they disclose who they are, in most cases they are stigmatized and discriminated against. So as AGHA, we've come out to empower these people to see that it is their right to demand for health services, just like any other Ugandan. They have a right to stand out and demand for quality health services.
What can the common man do to make sure they achieve that goal?
Without putting the key populations under consideration, there is no way we are going to achieve the zero new infections, zero discrimination, and zero HIV-related deaths. Reason being, it looks to be a very small group, but it's a group that we've taken for granted. We've tried to shy away from them. We get to think this is a taboo. You stand out to talk about a sex worker, nobody wants to listen. A sex worker moves into a hospital, she tells you she was raped last night, and she suspects she contracted the HIV. She's asking for PrEP or, the moment a health worker gets to hear of that,
the health worker will say, but you are
a sex worker after all. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are. The HIV virus doesn't know who you are. Yes.
Now, what are some of those things that you would expect government to help you as AGHA with? Some of those ways that government can get involved in this fight that they have not yet.
Let them get to know that these communities are there and find a way of handling them, or else we are not going to move forward. I want to see government procuring these commodities that these people need. If it means the condoms, I want to see government procuring these condoms. They go out and mark the hotspots of where these groups are. Like, say, we all know where the sex workers line up on those streets. Yes. Let them put a hotspot. Let them identify those hotspots. They place the condoms there. At least they know, if I'm to sleep with this man, I'll find this condom here and go sort out myself. With that, we'll be able to move forward. Then, when I talk of mapping, we all know where the sex workers are, but who knows where the men who are having sex with men are? Nobody knows. They are underground movements. We all don't know who they are. But then they are living with a virus, and they cannot stand out and declare who they are, because the law is against that. But then if we are to fight this disease, there is no way we are going to succeed as long as we'll keep shying away from reality. Because these groups are there and they are contributing a lot to the virus.
As a punting shot, as we end this interactive segment of Prime News Live, I want you to talk to those marginalized groups, because this is national television and everyone is watching. Talk to them directly, and also talk to the people who are marginalizing them as we await the World AIDS Day tomorrow.
Because at the end of the day, there is no way we are going to succeed without that being put in place. As long as they can't come out openly, we will not be able to achieve. So government should step in, it looks for them, then avail them with those commodities.
Thank you, Suzan, for being with us on this interactive segment. World AIDS Day is an annual event commemorated on every 1st of December. We expect 0 new infections of the HIV virus this year. My name is Daniel Lutaaya for WBS TV.